Leave me out of comments, leave me out of nonsense. Speaking out of context, people need some content. Niggas trying to keep up, shit is not a contest. Whipping bang.
What's up, YouTube? So y'all, it's Cash Reacts here, and today we're gonna be reacting to a Here's My Story video. If y'all don't know, it's just people telling a story, but they got animated people like playing a story out. So it's called I Became a Millionaire but Left My Stepmom and Her Daughter. Let's get straight into it.
Welcome to Here's My Story. I'm Mia. It was a Tuesday when everything changed. Dad collapsed right there on the floor. My stepmom Kathy was freaking out, dialing 911 like a woman possessed, and her daughter Crystal was white as a sheet. Paramedics rushed in, but it was too late. "We tried our best, I'm so sorry," one said. That night, I decided, nope, not gonna let this happen again. I was online searching for CPR courses and found one, picked up the phone and dialed their number. "Yeah, hi, I want to learn CPR," I said, my voice choked up. My stepmom and I went to the lawyer's office the following day. "Your dad left $100 grand, a 50-50 split between you both." Sounding outraged, Kathy screamed, "But I'm his wife! I should get it all!" The lawyer responded, "Your husband's will is clear about the division." Eventually, my stepmom had to back down, but I could see that glint in her eyes. She was plotting. She would find a way to get her hands on my half. A week passed quickly. Before I knew it, it was my first day of CPR training. We started with the instructor, a tall lady with a heart of gold. She said, "You could save a life with the skills you learn here." Without thinking, words tumbled out of me. "Wish I knew this stuff earlier." The room went quiet for a sec. Then the instructor smiled at me. "Many folks feel the same, but remember, it's never too late to learn." One day, Kathy and Crystal decided to ditch me and go on this massive shopping trip. They left me home alone, and honestly, it was nice having some peace and quiet. Out of nowhere, my phone buzzed. Crystal texted me a pic of 2 super expensive designer handbags. "Pick one," she texted, clearly trying to rub it in my face. I replied, "They both look great," not wanting to feed into her game. "Ugh, you're no help," she snapped back. She was clearly enjoying spending my dad's money. Meanwhile, I was at home, chatting about their shopping spree with a friend on the phone. "They're blowing through dad's and my money," I told her. She replied, "That's so not cool." That night, Kathy barged into my room, holding an armload of Crystal's old clothes. She dropped them onto my bed like they were some sort of present. "My daughter doesn't want these anymore," she told me all smug. "No, you can wear them." I was like, "But I don't need them." My stepmom didn't listen to me. "We're going shopping tomorrow and you'll wear these," she insisted, looking all pleased with herself. Now I was stuck with this pile of clothes that wouldn't even fit right. Just another way for Kathy to get her kicks. Early in the morning, my stepmom busted into my room once again. "Put on Crystal's old green pants and the t-shirt with the palm pattern," she ordered, talking about the hand-me-downs from yesterday. I didn't say anything, just nodded, even though I really wanted to protest. "Get ready, we're going to the mall like I told you," she said. And a couple hours later, I found myself in the mall, burdened with their shopping bags. Crystal laughed. "Mia, you look like a Christmas tree." I didn't say anything. I just bit my lip to keep from crying. I snuck off to the restroom while Kathy and Crystal were on their retail therapy mission. But it wasn't a typical trip to the restroom when I arrived. There was this little girl on the floor, not moving. A crowd was forming, but doing nothing. I've done CPR training, so I got down there and started chest compressions. I was saying, "Come on, kiddo, breathe." Everyone was just staring. Then she coughed. She was breathing. Some guy screamed, "She's alive!" Best sound I've ever heard. I shouted out, "Who called 911? A woman said, "They're on their way." We all waited. The paramedics walked up and took over. A random dude said, "Good job, kid." I just mumbled, "Thanks." Kathy blew up my phone right after the paramedics bolted with the kid. "Mia, get over here, we're done, got bags to carry." I said, "Cool, on my way." My mind returned to that little girl. Who was she? Was she gonna be all right? I was in my room, totally zoned into my homework and clueless about the drama downstairs. Little did I know, my day out would turn my world upside down. Downstairs, Kathy was like a moth to a flame with the TV, all into some breaking news. A rich dude, Richard, looked like he was about to lose it. He said, "I am giving a $5 million reward to the girl who saved my daughter at the mall today." He was desperate and added, "All I know is she wore green pants and a palm print t-shirt. Please come forward." Then Crystal nearly jumped off the couch. Wait, that's Mia's outfit, the one I gave her. My stepmom was shocked. Then she was practically drooling over the money. You could see the wheels turning in her head. Then we can claim the reward. She was practically purring. And in my room, I was unaware of the whirlwind of events about to unfold. So here's what went down while I was in the dark. My stepmom and her daughter Crystal took a trip to see this guy, Richard. Yeah, the same Richard whose daughter I had helped in the mall. They spun him this wild story that Crystal was the one who saved his little girl. Richard was so grateful he could hardly see straight. "You saved my baby," he kept saying, choking up. He mentioned his girl was still in a coma, but doctors were hopeful she'd pull through. Kathy and Crystal played their parts perfectly. Crystal gave this Oscar-worthy performance saying, "I'm just glad she's okay." And just like that, they fooled Richard into handing over a massive $5 million reward. When they returned home, they grinned like Cheshire cats, waving around that check like they'd won the lottery. It was a full-on party downstairs, celebrating their scam, while I was upstairs, totally clueless about the whole thing. And you won't believe what happened next. Amber, Richard's little girl, woke up from her coma. Good news, right? But when Richard called Kathy, inviting Crystal to come over for a thank you celebration, Kathy freaked out. I heard her stuttering on the phone. Not now, maybe later. I could tell something was up, but I did not know what was happening. A week later, there I was, in my PJs, about to start another Netflix binge, when Kathy yelled, "Mia, at the door!" Who would visit us this late, I thought. But then I opened it and, surprise, it was Amber. She looked so different, healthy and vibrant. Her eyes lit up like Christmas lights as soon as she saw me. She pointed at me, shouting, "It's her! She saved me!" Richard stood there, his face registering shock, as if he'd been hit by a sudden chilling wind. And me? I was totally tongue-tied. I just nodded. Behind me, I could hear Kathy and Crystal gasp. They looked like they'd swallowed a sour lemon. Richard started, "But I thought, Crystal." His voice trailed off as he assembled the puzzle. At that moment, the truth was out, and everything changed. My stepmom and her daughter flipped out when the truth came out. I mean, they actually tried to make a run for it. But Richard, quick on his feet, swiftly dialed the cops and revealed the whole sordid truth. Meanwhile, Kathy and Crystal tried to skedaddle, but guess what? The cops were on their tail. The blue lights flashing in their rear view must have been a nasty surprise. And then, boom, one of the cops announced, "You're under arrest for fraud." At that, Kathy's face turned as pale as a sheet. Crystal was freaking out, repeatedly saying, "Mom, what do we do now?" Richard was there to console me, ever the pillar of strength, promising, "Justice will be served, Mia." I was so choked up that I could only say, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. He was friendly and said, "It's not your fault, Mia. You showed strength throughout." Richard was still there, holding a whopping $5 million check. "Mia, you earned this," he said, his voice sincere. I blinked, looking from him to the check. "But I didn't do it for the money," I told him. I mean, it was true. Who thinks about money when a kid's life is on the line? Richard just shrugged, giving me his fatherly smile. "Mia, you deserve it. It's yours." After a bit of arguing, I took the check, still a little shell-shocked from everything. You won't believe what happened next. I was just relaxing at home when Richard called with a surprising proposition. "Mia, how about I adopt you?" What? Richard's question threw me for a loop. Like, become part of his family? That blew my mind. I took a deep breath and said, "Sure, I'd love that." My cheeks flushed when he added, "Maybe you'll call me Dad one day." The next thing I knew, I watched Kathy and Crystal on TV in court getting served justice. The judge harshly told my stepmom, "And the $5 million you stole, going straight back to Richard. Enjoy your extra jail time if you had spent a dime of it." A whirlwind of emotions surged within me. Relief, sadness, and a prevailing sense of hope. Their lies were out in the open. Justice was done. And I was ready for a fresh start.
Alright, y'all. So that was crazy. That's what they get. Anybody knows this. Bad karma isn't the only thing that's been a block. Good karma does as well. That's God. They knew that they didn't have no rights to that money. But instead, they wanted to be money hungry and greedy and try to go get it. Look what happened. They pulled up to the crib. You had her answer the door, the little girl. Excuse me, Dad, that's the one that saved me. Face that. Now look at you in prison. Look at your daughter in juvie. Stupid. Offer some money. If y'all would have treated her right, she would have broke y'all off. It is what it is. Anyways, that was a good video. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that post notification bell. And follow me for more videos. Peace.